Hello, everyone. This is Crystal with Zen Fully Aware Performance Coaching, and today we're going to talk about the element of air. So we have a beautiful breeze blowing today. We also have the sounds of a little bit of the waves as the breeze blows through. So I really want you to think about how our breath is integrated into the air element. It is our primary nutrient. We can live without food, we can live without water, very limitedly, obviously, yet we only live seconds or minutes without air. So what is that saying to us? What is that telling us? That air is our primary source of life, and that our breath is that much more important, and how we breathe is even more important than really focusing on the breath, is how we draw the breath into our bodies, where we kind of create that space for the breath, and also really how we're exhaling, and really how we're using the CO2 and oxygen ratio, how the body starts to process that and really tell us, like really give our body messages, and how the body reacts to those messages. So we can tell the body to gently calm itself by activating the parasympathetic nervous system by taking deep breaths. Now, once again, that is not necessarily the volume of air that we are taking in. We're not taking in a huge volume of air, but yet we are breathing in the air in a controlled manner. We're taking it deep into our lungs. We're using our diaphragm. We're using the intercostal muscles. We're using our abdomen. We're using our postural muscles to really activate every part of the body to take in that air, to really use that air. It's not necessarily the saturation of oxygen. Yes, we'll get into that. But more right now, we're learning how to breathe. So prana is... the practice of pranayama is the control of the breath, and prana is our life force. A lot of people might call it chi. It really is the essence of our being. So when we begin to kind of focus and bring our attention to the breath, we begin to notice how we are breathing throughout the day, how we are breathing through certain situations. If we find ourselves in a comfortable seat, you can do this seated, or you can do this you can do it seated on the ground, or you can do it in a chair. If we're in a chair, gently place the bottoms of the feet flat onto the ground and begin to become aware of the breath. Just kind of focus. You can keep the eyes open, or you can close the eyes, whichever you prefer. And I want you to draw the breath through the nose. So nasal breathing, really, when we breathe through our nose, we have a primary source, a first source of protection. The air comes in, we filter out all the things that aren't good. And so as the oxygen draws into the body, we're filtering it already through that first source in through the nose. When we draw it in through the mouth, again, we might take in too much of the air, too much of a volume, and we really don't have that protection, that first source of protection. The air just kind of comes in, and we take everything in with that air. So imagine all these little particles kind of floating around. So gently draw the breath in through the nose. Allow yourself to exhale through the nose as well. Release the jaw so that we're not kind of clenching the teeth. And notice, first just notice how the body breathes. As we begin to become aware, I'm noticing just gentle little things in my body. I notice kind of I'm clenching in my hips, so I allow the body to relax. And as we begin to become aware, we start to realize, okay, what muscles am I using? We can bring the diaphragm in, the muscle that sits kind of below our heart and above our belly. The easiest way to explain it. And as we draw the breath in, allow that muscle to expand. So imagine if you have a balloon and we're kind of expanding the belly out. As we exhale, again through the nose, we're allowing that muscle to contract and release. We're allowing the lungs to deflate. And start to gently take notice. If we're breathing, if we notice that our chest and our upper body is moving throughout this process, we're really using different muscles, which causes and can cause strain throughout the neck, throughout the shoulders. That's why we can have a crank in the neck. So we really want to try and focus on the correct way to breathe. So as we breathe in, the belly expands out. We can even take our hand to the belly and one to the heart so that we can feel as we breathe out. Again, the belly draws in. Now that we've noticed how we're breathing and where we are breathing, we're going to take a test. It's called the Bolt test. The breath oxygen level test. And we're going to gently allow ourselves to exhale all the air out of the body. So draw the breath in through the nose. Expel the air out until you really aren't feeling any air anymore. Full exhale. At the very bottom of that exhale, we're going to hold our breath and we're going to count. And as soon as you feel the body beginning to want to breathe, so it's not holding your breath, it's as soon as the body reacts to that different exchange between the oxygen and carbon dioxide, as soon as the body wants and needs air, we stop counting. So I'll start. Draw the breath in. Exhale, release. At the bottom of my exhale, I'm going to start counting. And inhale. Inhale whenever the body feels that it needs breath. So we begin to notice what were our numbers. Some of our numbers might be low, some of our numbers might be high. This is how the body is processing oxygen, how it's efficiently taking the oxygen and CO2 together, or maybe not so efficiently. So we start to do some breath holds. And these are gentle breath holds even throughout the day. Whenever we begin to notice kind of our thoughts are jumbled, or we're feeling that kind of either butterfly or that tightness in the chest, we bring our awareness back to our breath. And eventually, as we do our breath holds, we're kind of simulating high altitude training. And as we do those breath holds, we begin to notice that our efficiency, our breath, our prana, our life force starts to work better, starts to work in our favor. So gently come back to just the awareness of the breath. Begin to notice how you're breathing. Begin to notice where in the body you're breathing. And begin to notice how the breath starts to connect the mind with the body. How our life force, something that we don't often pay attention to, but how we can really build that strength, build that foundation and really take into consideration how important not only is something that is automatic for most of us, but how important what we're breathing in, how we're breathing, when we're breathing, and even why we are breathing the way we are breathing. So if you can answer those questions, just kind of jot them down, maybe in a journal, and begin to take notes. Maybe each day, maybe in the morning, and then in the evening. Begin to observe and become curious of the breath. Become curious of this life force. And gently watch how your breath can create your life. Thank you for joining. I look forward to seeing you in more classes, and have a wonderful day.